This evening. I want to say a special good evening to former UNC Senator Taharqa Obika. Pleasant good evening and welcome, sir, right here on the Observer on Gayelle TV.
Good evening, and thank you for welcoming to the Gayelle, and of course to all your listeners and viewers and all participants. It's a pleasure to be here to share with you.
Thank you so much. You told the media that extortion seems to be a big issue in Caroni. And at a TTPS Central Division meeting earlier this year, villagers and business people from a named area complained of extortion by gangsters. How common is this now?
Well, apparently it's fairly common in that area, but you know, the thing that we tend to do in Trinidad is say, well, it's not my area, so clearly it's not a problem for me. When you look at the responses of many of the business chambers, they are recognizing that it is happening, it is growing. There was an article on Sunday's Express where Commander Garvin here himself, as a security consultant, acknowledged that it has been growing since last year. So what you've had is a breakdown of security in this country, and whilst it may start to rear its ugly head in some primary villages in towns in Caroni. There are much towns in Caroni, because we're not talking about Shogunas right now.
Right.
There's south of the Caroni River, north of Shogunas. You know, that's not a very big catchment area, and it's going to grow from there. They have some industrial operations happening there. It's going to grow from there, and it's going to reach the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, because it's a small country we're talking about. And once the bandit association realize that something is working in one district, they roll it out nationwide. The reality is it's important to nip this in the bud immediately. The problem that they're facing as well is that there are also complaints of either negligent or some rogue officers. Now, I must say myself, being a descendant of a police sergeant from Princestown, and my mother's side, my mother's father was a police sergeant. I must say that the police service is a service that has standards of operation, and they hold themselves up with pride in service to our country. But of course, the few bad eggs are the ones that they need to weed out of the service. No. They are working hand in hand with these persons in extortion.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's hardworking police officers, men and women, who put their lives on the line every day. And of course, there's always going to be someone or some individual is going to try to taint the image of that, unfortunately. But getting back to what you said as far as nipping it in the bud, at today's CARICOM Crime Symposium at the Hyatt, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, and I quote, he said, "Today, if there's one aspect we may all be guilty of, is that the problem of criminality and violence was not dealt with sufficiently in a much earlier time frame, in the homes, in the schools, in the prisons, in the courts, and I dare say in the parliament." I mean, basically what the Prime Minister is saying here is this horse has bolted out of the stable. However, collectively, we as a society, we have failed as far as saying, listen, this type of behavior that he spoke about, because he added that we allowed slow, moderate, defiant behavioral trends to increase. What say you on that?
Well, I mean, the Prime Minister would have had a well-crafted speech. You know, his speechwriters did a wonderful job. And the reality is there's always a gulf between talk and action. And when you look at what they are saying, it's important to dissect it. One of the things that he said is, basically, he's trying to normalize this whole issue of there's no need to change the Minister of National Security. The Guardian media, they captioned an article where the headline read something to the effect of basically giving the impression that the Prime Minister is not impressed, that he should change his Minister of National Security by saying how many ministers he's had, although he underscored, he forgot to mention two persons who acted as junior ministers of national security. So he has had five, when he included junior ministers, Dennis Moses and Gayelle. He's talking about the partnership having five. But under the UNC government. But however, what he failed to acknowledge is that under the UNC government, 2010 to 15, they brought the murder rates down below 400 and hovering around 400 when it was at the highest level. Right now, if we get 400 murders in Trinidad and Tobago, the government will be marking that as an achievement. So he's saying that he shouldn't change the Minister of National Security, and he pointed to the prior government under Kamala Prasad, but he failed to recognize that maybe it was because she changed her minister so much in response to the needs of the day that we had the success that we had, because we have the benefit of different persons giving their input and adding incrementally on the work of their predecessor. Because remember, they may have entered the ministry, but they may have never left the government, some of them. So the issue at play is he's trying to make an elaborate excuse for Fitzgerald by stating that crime is really something that pervades our society. It's almost as something as an illness that is plaguing our land, and therefore changing government ministers will not solve crime. That is basically the sum of all that the Prime Minister stated. Now, the leader of the opposition is on record after we left the symposium this morning, stating that what she hopes for is a plan of action. And then I see Mia Motley also echoed her sentiment, and it's reported in the press. Later on in the day, Mia Motley echoed a sentiment of the political leader, stating that she wants us to have plans of action on crime. So basically, despite the Prime Minister's weak opening knock, where he did not speak to concrete solutions. He did not speak to trying to respond to the call by the entire population to remove Fitzgerald. In fact, he made an elaborate excuse for Fitzgerald. You have Mia Motley saying, yes, let's bring some solutions. Let's do more than talk. So we hope, in the interest of all our CARICOM citizens, that the CARICOM heads that are assembled at the Hyatt in Port of Spain result in some form of plan of action for crime. However, whilst it may result in plans of action that will be followed in our CARICOM neighbors, we are not sure, or actually we are clear, that this government in Trinidad and Tobago is hell-bent on doing nothing to alleviate the crime problem. Because if you were to take the Prime Minister by his word, Fitzgerald Hines' job is, as we say in local parlance, his job is as safe as the last guy briefcase. So he ain't going to place.
Yeah, and that's all good and well, Mr. Obika, but the fact of the matter is that, is this just simply some sort of a regional talk shop? I mean, we've had all these talks on the global economy, we've had it on the global climate change, all of that. We've had all these talks before coming out. But when you talk about the fact that it's on the doorstep of each and every citizen, the fact that we seem as though we're no longer entitled to the basic security. And you said it, you said that the impact of crime on the private sector's output includes business losses, increased security costs, reduced productivity, given the operating environment. Businesses at night close early. And the Prime Minister is saying again that the problem of criminality and violence was not dealt with sufficiently in a much earlier time frame, as to say, listen, it didn't happen overnight. And I believe that. It didn't happen overnight. I mean, where you have the former commissioner of police saying, listen, this is a new breed of criminal. This is a new breed of people that we've ever encountered as far as criminals in this country. We're talking about, according to the Prime Minister, we need to shift the culture. How do we even begin to shift the culture when, according to him, that this problem did not take place overnight? Do we have the luxury of having another time or some other long duration before we get results? Do we have that luxury as a people?
Well, I want to tell you, it is a talk shop in terms of the effect of it, in terms of Trinidad and Tobago. But we have to believe that our visiting CARICOM heads of government are coming here with a seriousness of purpose to fix the crime problem in their country. and at a regional level. You know, because I sat for instance next to someone from the office of the Prime Minister in Guyana, and what they are concerned with from a policy perspective is the infrastructure in the region that helps neighboring countries stop criminal activities before they reach the other. For example, we intercepted some known criminals who are Venezuelans in Trinidad by virtue of the Venezuelan authorities informing us in Trinidad and Tobago, hey, these are some escaped known persons to the police in Venezuela.
Right.
So the Guyanese and the Bajans and the Jamaicans and so on, they are coming here with a serious set of purpose, hoping that we can have some collaborative efforts in terms of fixing crime at a national level. In St. Lucia, for instance, they are experiencing the highest crime wave ever. Their murder rate, when you extrapolate their population, is almost equivalent to our murder rate of last year, where we had 600 persons being killed. But remember, St. Lucia's population was 8% of Trinidad's population.
Yeah.
So it'll be a smaller number, but in terms of percentage-wise, it's similar. So they are fearful as well.
Well, I understand that, but the fact of the matter, we had an attorney general who told us that as far as legislation, we knew exactly where the criminals were, who were the gang leaders, what they were eating, what kind of food they order, where they sleep, where they rest their head at night, all of that intelligence. And he said not just locally, but also regionally and partnered with international bodies to deal with this situation. Is it the issue that we can gather all the intelligence because everyone can tell you where the crime is taking place, what's being done, but what is done with that intelligence? It can't just be that we know there's a problem. There has to be more that has to be done to ensure that we secure the lives of the citizenry.
Well, I mean, and of course, the simple thing we were hoping for to come out, the entire country was hoping for, was that the Prime Minister would have given in, especially when they confronted him, the media confronted him at that solar farm project in central Trinidad last week. They were hoping he would have given in and say, you know what, I will have a reshuffle, I will remove Hines. There was a time last year, there was a hoax last year or year before, where it was announced that Hines was fired and the entire country celebrated on Facebook and Instagram and so on, only to realize it was a hoax, you know? So we are unified as a nation on one thing. Hines is a failure. I think that one is clear. But what the Prime Minister has revealed today, this morning, by his elaborate defense of Hines, is that Hines is going nowhere. So the only way to fix crime as a country, we have concluded that we must get rid of Hines. The Prime Minister is saying the government is keeping Hines in place. All right? He's had enough of changing ministers of national security. And therefore, to echo the words of the leader of the opposition, the sixth Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and soon to return again, the government is not interested in moving the Minister of National Security, so therefore we must remove the government. It's as simple as that. That is the only solution. Now, at the same time, we have to understand that the party is posturing. This is a situation where the entire parliamentary caucus of the party was present. All right, today, in support of the leader of the opposition. All right, and she went and greeted all her colleagues as who are sitting heads of government, because she would have served as head of Commonwealth and so on, and senior CARICOM Prime Minister and so on to them in the past. So, and some of them are still present there. So she greeted them, and in the interest of CARICOM advancement, all right, and of goodwill, she is saying, let's wish for the best. And what she advised her colleague is, let's bring a plan of action. And you see, Mia Motley has echoed a sentiment. Whilst we are saying that we hope there's a plan of action that the region can benefit from, we will wish the region well, but we know that Trinidad and Tobago will be singular in one regard, in that we will not benefit from any plan of action, because it matters not which plan you give. It could be plan A or plan B. Fitzgerald Hines is a waste of time when it comes to leadership of a government ministry as important as national security in this country.
Yeah. And again, closing comments, if you can touch on, you said crime scares away investors, damaging the reputation of Trinidad and Tobago and the general economy, and it's yet another reason for declining economic fortunes.
Well, okay, so if you have businessmen in Central complaining about extortion, if you are a businessman anywhere else in the country, you will be studying when will they come by me. You're already concerned with having to put in increased security measures to open any business. You're already concerned. So if you're a businessman, you have to make a business decision. Do I open another branch of my coffee shop or another branch of my furniture store or another branch of my pharmacy? A young brother, I went to UAM, he has 2 pharmacies in the East. He may have to decide, do I open another branch of my pharmacy in Trinidad, or do I go and open one in St. Lucia, Dominica, or Guyana? So, and the decision is now becoming very easy for many. I'm not even talking about international investors.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the local who is basically watching the crime situation. All right? So, when you can have a store like Rattan, you will not be ambushed in his home in San Fernando. All right? Crime is affecting the decision to invest, the decision of the businessman to stay in Trinidad and Tobago with his family. All right? And once you leave with your family, you'll invest elsewhere because you want to have your business where you are located. So the challenge is clear.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to go into economic studies and bring empirical data to explain that which we all know.
So true.
Yeah. I try not to give an economic. We can start my PhD next month, so I try not to give an economic lecture.
On that.
I try to stay confined to the issue of the day, which is the Prime Minister's statement this morning.
Yeah.
But it's clear. It doesn't matter which economic study you bring. The ease of doing business is challenged with crime and criminality. And until and unless we get rid of this government, because they are standing behind Fitzgerald Hine, we need to get rid of them so we can live in peace.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obika. It's been a pleasure. And of course, all the best to you and your team. And we'll be checking in with you, of course, in the near future. Thank you so much.